The next question which I probably want to ask you is like something which I've noticed lately is that constantly how people have been moving between companies, trying to find the right role for themselves and etc. Right.
Hmm.
So since you have worked across the board in various forms of organizations and at different roles also, right? So
Right.
one thing which I want to understand is like what are like certain factors or certain things which one must consider before they move or change their role or like change the company.
All right. That's a great question. Which I've faced like a lot of times in life. I think there are three. Again, this is I discussed this with a lot of people, and I think more or less agree with the. So there are three things that I think are very important: people, process, and product in that order, right? So I think the most important thing for me is people. Whenever I go to a company, because it's the people that you'll be working with, right? And the smarter the people are, smarter in terms of the things that they do in general, uh, you can automatically assume that things are going to be better, right? They'll make better products. If they're smarter people, more motivated people, they'll be working to ensure that things work really well. So some of it is also tied. So I think people, because that is that is who you'll be working with. So you want to ensure that there's friendly people who don't eat you up at office. So that I think is very important, especially your manager, right? I mean, for your company, your manager is your whole company for you, right? I mean, that's literally more or less it. I mean, that's the person that you talk to on a day-to-day basis, and the one that you interact with, and also someone who's till to some extent, I would not say like obviously completely, but in the position to define your growth and career in that company, right? They obviously help you set goals, and then that is where you sort of progress from. You have something to refer to, that okay, these are the things I should be doing. So I think a manager, or in general people around you, play that role really well. The second is process. So like how do people go about things? For example, you can have one of the best looking products, but if the process is like just sad, you get business requirements and you start doing UI design the next day without any research, without trying to figure out okay what's going on. Even if you like got like designers with like great chops making like amazing looking stuff, but it doesn't really fit the bill, because the things that should be done are not being done. And because of that, you're doing a lot more iterations, because whatever you ship out, the chances of that failing are maybe a little bit higher than what it would have been when you would have probably done a bit of research. So that is where processes come in place, right? Processes are not just like from design perspective, but everything else as well, right? Maybe also how people are hired, right? That's also one of the things that you look for, that when you interview with a company, how was the process? Did you like it? In a lot of cases, what I've seen is, if the process itself for me, right, when I'm interviewing in a company is not good, that gives off a lot of hints. There's a lot of red flags. If you're smart enough, you can catch that, okay, this does not look like the kind of place I want to go, right? So I think process is second. The third one is product, which I think, if the first two are good, automatically the product is going to be good, right? But yes, product is also something that's very important. You want to keep that in mind as well, that the product is something that you can personally sort of feel connected to. You do not, for example, I have like certain domains in my like mind that I don't want to go in right now, right? Because I feel like uh, I'm either not ready or I've already worked on it. For example, let me just give you a very random example. For example, logistics is one of the functions, right? I've previously worked in the logistics domain, and I feel like there's so much for me to explore that I don't want to go back into logistics and work on it again, right? I feel there's a lot more things that I want to learn about human behavior, and that is something I'll only learn when I work on more consumer facing products, right? So it also depends on what kind of expectations do you have from what you want to learn. If you want to learn more about consumer behavior, right, you probably want to work in a consumer facing company which has maybe a little bit higher interaction with the customers, and you're also able to engage with them directly as a researcher or through other means, right? So I think the third one is product. Obviously beyond this is also like compensation and things like that, and expectation around like where do you want to eventually reach in life, what is the trajectory of the company, like what do they want to do, does that align with your growth trajectory in general. So there's a lot of other things, but I think these are the top three things that I look for if I want to go somewhere, uh, more or less. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a very interesting aspect. One more thing, I actually recently saw this in a YouTube video. I don't remember. I think it was Gary Tan or someone. I was thinking it was Gary Tan, and he did this. He made a video on this concept called uh, learn, earn, or quit. Right. So a very simple, it's oversimplified, I would say, but then it does some of those things. So learn is that, right, where you have people around you which help you learn, or product or something that you find something in that there's some value that is being given to you, and you are not stagnating in your career, right? So you either stay in a company because you're learning. This is talking about where why are you staying in a company, right? Not why would you join in a company. Probably also maybe why would you join a company. So one is learn, the other one is earn. There's a lot of cases where people feel like that okay, maybe I'm not learning all that much, but I'm happy with the compensation and whatever is as a part of what I do as my roles and responsibilities, because in my life that is one of my priorities right now, right? Based on maybe you have some liabilities in life, maybe you have some responsibilities to take care of, and you don't want to go through that stress of applying in places and going, right? And you are happy where you are, and you find happiness in the kind of things you do, maybe even if it's not that challenging or progressive in nature. But the last one is quit. If you don't like, if you're not doing either of these, you just find something else that brings you more happiness. So it's all about just staying happy, man. I mean, you don't want to be in a place where you struggle. One should not have to struggle. Challenges are good, right? Things should be challenging. Things should not be like, in the nature you start struggling with things, struggle is bad, I think. uh, People think of struggle is cool, right? Struggle means you're doing something good. No, I mean, probably you want to hustle in life, right? You want to hustle and meet up with challenging stuff, not struggle in life. Struggle is what you don't want to do. I mean, that is what you should avoid doing. Do not struggle in, like, figure out something that you don't have that mindset. Like, I mean, figure out how can you like get out of that situation always. So yeah.
Yeah, I think there is also this really good Substack article on when one should move away from a company or move away from a role.
Is it?
It details out like different factors, and if you've not been, I mean, and on that basis you kind of rate. I'll probably attach that Substack article in the description.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a really good Substack. I think it's called the Valley Curve or something.
Hmm.
It's someone who used to work in I think Apple and then Twitter or something. I can't really recollect, but it's a brilliant article. And yeah,
Do share.
that's yeah, that covers a lot of the points similar, or it's on the similar lines of what you were telling.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Product Stories for more such episodes.